everything in this world is Krishna's property. Therefore, whether the thing is there near him or not doesn't matter. Just like when we know it is a fasting, whether prasad is made or not, how much prasad is kept next to us, how much is there in the bucket, how much is made, what taste it is, doesn't matter to us. Because you understand, not my property to enjoy. This is not. Today's fasting for me. Maybe it's a new boss. Isn't it? But when so that's the point. But other days we are very much keen. Okay, what is the prasad item today? How much quantity is made? So like that. So is free hand serving happening to children or limited serving happening? The free hand happening, nothing will remain. Limited happening, some probabilities increase. Like that. So one becomes a little insecure. Is it not? Oh, why? Because we know that that's for me to enjoy. But you understand, it's not my property. Then you won't be insecure. Yes. Yes, that's true. Yes. Yes, true. Yes. So it's only in the mode of goodness that one is able to understand the needs of the self and focus on the self. In mode of passion and ignorance, one feels that his existence, individuality, happiness is dependent on material factors. That's what is passion. One feels that his happiness is dependent on material factors. That's passion. Therefore, he feels, if I don't get money, what is the use of my life? How can I live? So that's more passion. But a goodness person will not feel like that. That if I don't get money, how will I survive? So more passion person feels somehow or the other, I have to get money. If I don't get money, how will I survive? That's yes. Yes, that's true. So to maintain the artificialities is much more difficult. And to live in one's natural disposition in a simple setting is much more easy. Yeah, Lord Shiva is transcendental. Lord Shiva is not tamasic. Okay. Yes. Yes, they're devotees. Lord Shiva, Mother Parvati, they are all devotees of the Lord. So their abodes are going to be devotional abodes. Okay, they play a role in going to the to elevate the most fallen and wretched people. That's their mercy and compassion. But they themselves are not like that. Like Prabhupada was preaching to hippies. Prabhupada was not dressing like a hippie or behaving like a hippie. Is it not? He was preaching to hippie. That was his compassion. But he was a resident of the transcendental realm. So not that he himself became a hippie. Like that. That's the point. So that's the point. So how is the behavior of Shiva Loka? Those who are well qualified, will enter the Shiva Loka, and there they will get further spiritual training, and they'll go back to Godhead. That's how Shiva Loka is going to be. Not that ghosts are roaming around there and hobgoblins are roaming around there. So they won't remain ghosts and hobgoblins if they become residents of Shiva Loka. If they have to remain ghosts and hobgoblins, they will remain on that area is given to them. Bhuvar Loka. They won't go beyond Bhuvar Loka. They won't enter Shiva Loka. Where only? He will go. He will go and preach to them. Yeah. Anji? Yes, so Lord Shiva's protocols of how he preaches to them, what are his preaching strategies? I don't think they are mentioned in the Bhagwatam. So I don't know. So at least they are not mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Only thing we know is that from Lord Sadashiva, there are multiple levels of expansions, and these expansions go everywhere. So for the universe, there is one Shiva, then he further expands, then he further expands. For every planetary system, there will be one Shiva, So this is what we know. That we don't know. And how exactly he is Ashutosh. So he is Ashutosh. So as his demigod role is to give benedictions very easily. The nature of those benedictions is that those mantras, those benedictions, Vishnu mantra is also embedded in it. So people get gradual purification. So that happens for every other demigod, not just Lord Shiva. But how Lord Shiva is elevating the bhutas, he's elevating, no doubt. But what exactly protocol, what type of voice center or ISKCON temples he opens, we really don't know much. There is no clear-cut description which is there. We only know that he does it. So he might be preaching to them, or he might be, like Narada Muni didn't have to open voice centers and train people for 6 years and then give them initiation. Narada Muni could knock out in one meeting people, So now they didn't remain sinful because he knocked them off. They are no more sinful. Similarly, Lord Shiva might be doing something similar, probably. He may be knocking them off, He may be having centers also. So the description, I don't think I have read anything to that effect. Yes, we can worship the demigods, praying to them to give us Krishna Bhakti, spiritual desires. They will be happy to offer those benedictions. More happy than offering material benedictions. That is true. Yeah. So one of the things which is revealed here is that one who with great faith goes to Lord Shiva and he is competent and qualified enough, Lord Shiva is giving them, directing them to Vishnu. That's what he is doing with Pracetas. So he will do that with anybody who becomes qualified to this level. Lord Shiva did that with that Brahmana also who was worshipping him. Lord, he directed him to Sanatana Goswami. So that is one of the ways. So that we see revelation of how he is preaching. So probably he would be elevating them by his association, or to such a level, and then giving them Krishna Bhakti. So Shiva Loka planet, who is going to stay? So mostly the people who are being further trained by Lord Shiva to to go back to Godhead. Just like Prabhupada said, Jesus also has a planet. Those who are sincere followers, they will go to that planet and he will train them further in bhakti. So similarly, Lord Shiva's planet, the same kind of people will stay as well. Yes. Yes, true. Yes. Yes, there are multiple manifestations, levels of manifestations of Shiva Loka. There is one Shiva Loka in our Himalayas also. There is one Shiva Loka in Swarga Loka also. There is one Shiva Loka for the universe also. There is ultimately there is one Kailash or Shiva Loka, for the material world, and that is coming from the Vaikuntha Sadashiva Loka. So there are so that just like ISKCON temples are voice centers. Lord Shiva is also opening his centers, and he expands. These expansions remain for some time, and then they merge back into the body of Lord, ultimately Lord Sadashiva. That's how it is explained. So Shiva Tattva is a different Tattva. So therefore Lord Shiva is expanding. They are not Jivas. They are not his disciples who are acting on behalf of famous Shivas. No, Lord Shiva himself comes. Lord Sadashiva himself expands. These expansions are called as Shivas. And those which are bringing about the various activities of time factor, they are called as Rudras. Rudras are more wild, in their activities. Rudras.
Sir, MOD कहाँ पे होंगे?
They are followers of
MOD
Shiva.
कहाँ?
Oh, they are followers of Shiva. Now, is it written that they are Jiva Tattvas? Because they are expansions and they merge back into the body of Lord Sadashiva. That is what I have. That is what I know about. Shiva is not a Jiva Tattva. Lord, is it written? Okay. Okay, it's heard in the lecture. Maybe it is like that, but yeah. So in Bhagwatam, it is not written explicitly that they are. In Bhagavatam, it's only written that. But definitely, doesn't matter whatever tattva it is. The point is, these expansions come for some time and they merge back. It is written in Bhagavatam, they merge back into the body of Lord Shiva. Ultimately, Lord Sadashiva. Because it is a different tattva. Let's go ahead. Tatra Gandharvam Akarnaya Divyamarga Manoharam Vishishmayu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadiyano. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. In addition to the various flowers and the living entities around the lake, there were also many musical vibrations. The void of the impersonalist, which has no variegatedness, is not at all pleasing compared to such a scene. Actually, one has to attain perfection of Sat Chit Ananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Because the impersonalists deny these varieties of creation, they cannot actually enjoy transcendental bliss. The place where the Pracetas arrived was the abode of Lord Shiva. Impersonalists are generally worshippers of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is never without variety in his abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Brahma, there is variety to be enjoyed by persons full in knowledge and bliss. Tarhi eva sarasastasman nishkramantam sahanugam upagiyamanam amara pravaram vibhudanugai taptahema nikayabham Shitikantam Trilochanam. Prasada Sumukham Viksha Pranimurjata Kautuka. The Pracetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish. He had 3 eyes, which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Pracetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. The word Vibhudanugai indicates that Lord Shiva is always accompanied by the denizens of the higher planets known as the Gandharvas and the Kinnaras. They are very expert in musical science, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by them constantly. See, Prabhupada is clearly telling who is around Lord Shiva, the Gandharvas and the Kinnaras. They are heavenly beings, they will be much more pious, not our ghosts and hobgoblins. See, clearly Prabhupada is telling here. So they are expert in music, they are singing kirtans for Lord Shiva, and they are worshipping him. Is it not? In pictures, Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like molten gold or glowing yellowish complexion. Because Lord Shiva is always very, very merciful, his name is Ashutosh. See, amongst the demigods, Lord Shiva can be pacified even by the lowest class of men, who need only offer him obeisances and leaves of a bale tree. Thus his name is Ashutosh, which means he is pleased very quickly. Generally, those who are very fond of material prosperity approach Lord Shiva for such benediction. The Lord, being very merciful, quickly awards all the benedictions, blessings the devotee asks of him. The demons take advantage of this leniency and sometimes takes benedictions from Lord Shiva, which can be very dangerous to others. For instance, Vrikasura took a benediction from Lord Shiva, by which he could kill everyone he touched on the head. Although Lord Shiva sometimes very liberally gives such benedictions to his devotees, the difficulty is that the demons, being very cunning, sometimes want to experiment improperly with such benedictions. For instance, after receiving his benediction, Vrikasura tried to touch the head of Lord Shiva. Devotees of Lord Vishnu, however, have no desire for such benedictions, and Lord Vishnu does not give his devotees benedictions, which could cause disturbance to the whole world. Jai Shri Sai Chand, Gaurchand Bhagwan ki. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Maharaj ki. So it is just like, you see, we may preach to various kinds of people, but in our own ISKCON center or voice center, we may only allow those people to stay who are really very serious, who can at least be happy receiving and participating in whatever is happening. So will you allow for now somebody says, okay, why don't you allow one rounder to stay with you? We don't allow so that I mean, it is good for him, good for us also. Otherwise, he will also miserable. We are also miserable because he will want to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be very miserable and irritated watching that. He may want to eat non-veg. Is it not? He may want to eat onion garlic. He may want to watch some here and there. He may have many here and there habits. He may want, so it won't be fit for him. He will also miserable. We will also miserable. So the same is true with Lord Shiva. You see, he will be associating with those who are his best followers. That way, and that's what we see. See, here we can very clearly see by Krishna's mercy one gets a guru. Just like Dhruva Maharaj was sent by Mother Suniti to the forest, Krishna, seeing the opportunity and seeing the heart of Dhruva Maharaj, Krishna arranged for Narada Muni to go there. So by Krishna's mercy we get Guru, and then by Guru's mercy we get Krishna. That's the point. With the Pracetas, same thing. The Pracetas went to the forest. Who arranged that the Pracetas entered the Shiva Loka? That means the Pracetas are not walking on the earthly planet. They were doing interplanetary travels. Is it not? And that also random. And they happened to bang at Shiva Loka. So it's the arrangement of the Lord. Krishna's arrangement. And how did they got access to Shiva Loka? So you see, that means the Pracetas are already very pure-hearted souls. So it's not that at random they just walked and they just entered Shiva Loka. One requires qualification. If any Western country is so strict and stringent about entry to their country, what to say Shiva Loka? But they got a clean sail through because of their exalted position. This goes to show that those who personally associate with Lord Shiva in his abode, who get access to this abode, will be very exalted people like Pracetas. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's true. That's right. Yes, yes. But Shiva is very compassionate. That's true. He's a Dhira, he's very compassionate. So, so clearly we can see by Krishna's mercy one gets a guru. This example of Pracetas is exactly like that. And not only they went on the planet, but they could get darshan of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was probably doing, just coming out of the lake, probably, Is it not? So they got the darshan of Lord Shiva. Okay, so there is a question here. The question is saying, okay, being a representative of Rudra Sampradaya, how Lord Shiva got the knowledge? How Lord Shiva got the knowledge? Lord Shiva gets the knowledge from Krishna directly. Lord Shiva gets the knowledge. Which historical event it happens, that I don't know. Like the four Kumaras, they hear from Lord Hamsa. Lord Hamsa is giving them instructions. That's how the Kumara Sampradaya starts. Lord Shiva is getting knowledge from Krishna directly. So Brahmaji is getting knowledge on that lotus after the tapasya. So he just appeared from Brahma's eyebrows. Yeah. Eyebrows. So basically it's not recorded in Bhagwatam, is it not? The episode is not recorded. Like Mother Lakshmi, how did she got the knowledge? Where is the incident in history? There is no such mention. But we know she is always sitting next to the Lord. When she is massaging, the Lord will have so many conversations, is it not? It's by default. I mean, there is no, yeah, I mean, it's quite logical. She's always sitting with Lord Vishnu. She's always resting on the Srivatsa. Lord Vishnu will be all at any time talking, So, so anytime talking. So there is no doubt about, okay, how and when, Mother Lakshmi is getting. So it's not on the record probably because it's all the time, Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like that, not like that. Similarly, about Lord Shiva also we can say, Lord Shiva is always in meditation of Lord Vishnu. That's what he's saying. Rama Rama Rame 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 Rame. He's always meditating. He's always chanting the holy names of the Lord. At one time, Lord Shiva was meditating, and he was doing tapasya. He was meditating, and in his tapasya, the Lord revealed to him the most rare and the most magnificent and the most magnanimous of all his forms, and that is the form of Lord Gauranga. And therefore, Lord Shiva became ecstatic. And Lord Shiva started dancing, saying, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. So, how did he got that knowledge? He got that knowledge because he's always connected to Krishna. Is it not? Oh, Lord Shiva started dancing, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. And Mother Parvati, she got bewildered. And she was singing, what is this Lord Shiva? What is he chanting? What is he dancing? Very weird, Gauranga, Gauranga. So this pastime is happening, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is revealing this pastime basically. Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, Mother Parvati is asking, what happened? And Lord Shiva is telling, Kali Yuga is about to come. And she said, yeah, the degraded age, I said, no, the merciful age. The most merciful of Lord's incarnations is going to come in Kali Yuga, and his name is Gauranga. And he started describing, Mother Parvati felt very inspired but very jealous, that she's not getting darshan. She felt very sorry, She said, why, you only got that, revelation and all that, But anyway, Lord Shiva was not hearing her. Lord Shiva was just dancing, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. So, yeah, where did he get that knowledge, He's always chanting Lord Ram's name. So, probably, so Lord Krishna doesn't even need, an external pastime to be able to give knowledge to him, like that. So how did he give that darshan of Gauranga? He gave it in his meditation, is it not? And Lord Shiva dancing Gauranga, Gauranga. Mother Parvati got very much upset and she got very great desire. She wanted to see Gauranga, but then she realized that she cannot see like that. She performed great tapasya. So she came to Shidam Mayapur and she performed tapasya. She came to Shidam Mayapur and she performed tapasya. Nobody knew that Mayapur will be the birthplace of Gauranga at that time. But this is the eternal dham of Lord Gauranga. And she performed tapasya in Simantadip. And therefore the Lord gave darshan to her. This is much before the Lord personally manifested himself as Gauranga. That he gave the Gauranga darshan to her. And she took the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and put it in her that bipartite partition, Yeah, so she filled that bipartite partition, like that. That's a manga, So that is called a Simanta, Simantani, Simantadip. That's how the name comes, The Rajapur, Jagannath temple is Simantadip. And we have deities of Lord Chaitanya and Mother Parvati. So we can understand, that Krishna might have given knowledge to him. I mean, may not be in a physical pastime, but it can also be given in the heart. Just like he gave that Gauranga darshan. Gauranga. But Mother Parvati had to do tapasya. So, it's not that Lord Gauranga was favoring Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was already doing tapasya all the time because he's always chanting Krishna's names. Is it not? He's the most sense control. Is it not? He's always meditating on the Lord. So therefore the Lord revealed to him much easily. Whereas Mother Parvati had to sit down, focus, and that's the point. Okay, we go forward. So here you see, sometimes we hear, okay, Lord Shiva is giving benediction to demons and all that. The one may think, oh, why is Lord Shiva so gullible, or that any fool can come and take advantage of him. So actually, it's not about gullible. It's not Lord Shiva is just okay, whatever you want, whoever you want to take it and all that. So Lord Shiva is actually giving them a chance to develop faith, like that. See, this happens many times in our preaching also. So in our preaching also, many times actually people like say ISKCON, we are there generally to serve people. But sometimes people take advantage also, like that. But what can be done? Shall we stop preaching? No. The good souls will benefit. And those few people will also come and take some advantage. Like people come to ISKCON for free food, say for example, so or sometimes people come to ISKCON, and they show that they become a devotee also, so that they can make friends with some Western ladies, and then Mayapur you may find them, yeah, and some Western ladies, so sometimes people, or sometimes, yeah, so they just want to wear a devotee dress and take thus be and then take advantage of that situation to go and talk to some Western ladies and all that. So sometimes people come to ISKCON for a foreign chance. Because if you are hanging around the devotees, then maybe somebody from America may give you a visa and take you, and and you have to do some little bit cooking, then other time, a foreign chance, So sometimes people go there and they may serve in the temple for some time and then move on out into their material ambitions, like that. So sometimes people do that. They take advantage. Like we also had one cook in Alipur. So what he used to do? He used to finish off his cooking very fast. And we cooking was super fast. So and we were wondering, super fast, why is he super fast? She was super fast. The point was what? To finish off his cooking, and then what he'll do? He will wear pant shirt, deo, scent, everything, shik, whatever, put a nice this thing, and then go out. You know. And slowly we got to understand where is he going. He used to go to cinema sometimes. Yeah, he used to go to cinema. His cook. He only stole 30,000 rupees. Huh? Or different. So he was like that. And he was selling, he was chanting 16 rounds. However, our devotees didn't used to see him more than chanting 1 round. And that also in parts. Like that. So sometimes people take advantage. So what can be done? What can be done? Nothing can be done about it. Better focus on those who are So be careful. As soon as we understand somebody taking advantage, we can stop him there, so that too much damage doesn't come to the movement. But then we cannot stop our preaching endeavor because it is helping the genuine people. Is it not? Similarly, Lord Shiva. We cannot say, why Lord Shiva so wrong, he was so wrong, and that he gave an addiction to Vikasura. No, it's not like that. The point is, somebody will come and take advantage. Is that much? So how do you understand who is a demon and who is not a demon? So one who is not a demon, when you give him a material benediction, he will be grateful. Then he will say, okay, please give me more. So when he gets a material benediction, he will say, give me more. And then Lord Shiva can give him further. Like that Brahmana was like that. How do you understand he's a demon or not demon? Vikasura is asking for that benediction, and that Brahmana was also asking for the Chintamani. So he got a material benediction fulfilled, but he developed so much faith in Lord Shiva. He said, okay, it seems that this is garbage. What is wealth? Lord Shiva said, okay, will you pay the price? He said, yes, I'll pay the price. He developed so much faith in Lord Shiva. So a person who is not a demon, he gets some material benedictions fulfilled, he'll develop some faith. Is it not? And he'll move on. That's the point. But one who rejects it, then such a person we call him demon. So we know Vikasura is a demon, but then he was not tagged as a demon those days. I mean, nobody comes tagged as a demon. Demon, is it not? Did Putna came like that, tagged? No, nobody comes like that. They come very, very nice, sweet way. Is it not? Satan prapannarti haro Bhagavan dharma vatsalah dharmagyan शील संपन्न प्रीतः प्रीतान उवाचः. Lord Shiva became very pleased with the Pracetas, because generally Lord Shiva is a protector of pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very pleased with the princess, he began to speak as follows. Sorry, Pracetas did nothing and Lord Shiva became very pleased. How is it? So therefore, Sukdev Maharaj is explaining, because he could see that they are very pious people, and very gentle, very humble, and therefore he began to speak to them. So, or we can say, okay, the Lord gave him an Instagram direct message, The Lord gave him a direct message, okay, here are some candidates are coming, give them device, initiate them, Is it not? So, both ways. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna known as Bhakta Vatsala, and here we find Lord Shiva described as Dharma Vatsala. Of course, the word Dharma Vatsala refers to a person who lives according to the religious principles. That is understood. Nonetheless, these two words have additional significance. Sometimes Lord Shiva has to deal with persons who are in the mode of passion and ignorance. Such persons are not always very much religious and pious in their activities. But since they worship Lord Shiva for some material profit, they sometimes obey the religious principles. As soon as Lord Shiva sees that his devotees are following religious principles, he blesses them. So the Pracetas, the son of Maharaj Prachin Bari, were naturally very pious and gentle, and consequently Lord Shiva was immediately pleased with them. Lord Shiva could understand that the princes were sons of Vaishnavas, and as such Lord Shiva offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as follows. So Prabhupada explains, just like